Welcome to this week's Sports Bag Talk with Boley and Ringer, and guest guy here, Logan Johnson. We've been on for a couple weeks, Boley. Where did you go, Sonny, on vacation?
Well, if North Dakota is considered sunny, I guess that's where I went. It was a balmy mid-40s pretty much every day I was there, and those guys were out shooting roosters, and I was sitting back at the camp drinking beer.
The life hunting camp. You were mixing up the food or what?
No. Me and my brother cooked up ribs one night, and that was our big meal that we cooked. That was, I believe, Saturday night's meal. So we all cook a meal when we're out there. We had the ribs, and they were delicious, and it was a good time had by all.
There you go. Hunting season is upon us, and that's why you brought your main man Logan in, and to talk about some deer hunting. We're just over a week away. Less than a week away, I guess. It is Sunday. Saturday it all gets started. What's the forecast look like for deer? I read a little bit in the Duluth paper. They were saying that there's that things down maybe towards Duluth are looking good. What does it look like around here?
I haven't seen anything, but
man.
I looked around my stand, and there is plenty of activity. So hopefully I'll get one. I always see one opening morning, and then I never see anything ever again.
Okay.
Doe, buck, doesn't matter. It's gone the rest of the year. Never see anything ever again.
Shot or you scared it away?
I've only shot one, but a few of them have.
Somebody else just shot it, thought possibly, or
no.
Okay.
I'm kind of all by myself over there. But
Getting back to the weather, looks like 40s tomorrow, 50s on Tuesday and Wednesday, and I don't see anything past that. So those that need some cold weather to firm up them roads, I think you're going to be out of luck this weekend. But I know guys like Danny Herman, they got to go way back, and it's quite a chore for them to get to their stands. That's why they don't drink beer the day of the going out, because they got to leave early. Ain't that right, Danny?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
But anyways, getting back here. Reason we're bringing Logan in is we're going to talk some deer hunting tonight, and Logan's not here to share his expertise on the sport. What I wanted to get from him, and he was great for our NFL football draft show that we had. And
ratings went right up.
what I want from Logan, and the first question I'm going to ask him is, you're way out there on Sigmars Road, and you're just on the other side of that bridge. I just kind of want to ask you where you're hunting, how long you've been hunting there.
well, my grandpa bought it. It's been, I think, since the 70s or 80s we've had it. It's all County Weiss.
Okay.
And so I've been going out there since I was probably 10 or 11 years old, and I hunted with my dad a couple of years before I could get my own license and everything. And so I've been hunting since I was probably 12, 13, with a gun or without a gun, either one. I was the one that always got my dad out of bed with him when he always sleeps in there.
So hunting with your dad, you mean sitting in the stand?
Yep, sitting in the stand.
I think we've all had our sons and daughters with us their first couple of hunts. It's pretty traditional. And how many people hunt out at? It's Dave Johnson, the old judge or whatever. What was it? County commissioner, county whatever, county attorney. Pretty important guy, anyways.
Yeah.
He's been out there forever, but who else hunts out there with you guys?
We got my dad, and people come in and out all weekend from work and school and all that. So we get my cousin Zach, we get my Uncle Tony, we get my dad, my Uncle Tom, Chuck Sari. Chuck Sari's kid comes out too. My brother, a couple of relatives from down the cities, my grandpa's brother-in-law, Jeff Denham. So we get a whole crew down there. It's just people fluctuate in and out throughout the entire season. So normally there's about 8-10 people there, and it always varies too. So
okay, answer me this: shack, real shack, like none of this satellite TV,
the most
showers. Basically, you guys go out there and rough it.
Yeah, I mean the most technological thing we got out there is the sun.
Okay.
And there is a shower there too, but we got to bring the water in to take a shower in.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a shack. It's not where you got electricity, you got plug-ins. Like you said, the satellite TV. It's none of that, and that's why I like it. I think.
Yeah.
Get away from it.
Another thing I wanted to bring up there are how many trips back and forth. I know it's like a 5-mile trip from the road, which is on Sigmars County Road 8.
Yep.
You guys park your trucks and vehicles. We see them all the time. How far back is that? And how many loads of stuff do you have to bring in? I mean, you got to bring a lot of stuff
Yep.
in to make it livable.
Yeah, it's about 4.5 miles because we got side trails that we have to go on to get around big muddy holes, and so especially this year the trails are really bad this year. But and normally about 5 or 6 trips or so, and it always obviously varies with who's bringing in what. And like my grandpa will go in, and we got a trailer that he can hook onto a 6-wheeler at the shack, so that always means we can haul in more stuff. So that always helps. So it's probably about 5 or 6, and it always varies too. I feel like the people.
But you have a couple people stay back at the shack. Well, maybe you're being the younger guy. You'll be the one doing the transport. And I like that word stuff. You get stuff to put with the rest of your stuff.
That's me.
George Carlin joke. But, so you hunt out there, and you said you shot one deer. Who is the main hunter? Who is the guy that you guys can count on Saturday morning? Every Saturday morning to get that buck. Or is there a guy?
There is a couple. There's a couple that got really good stands. My cousin Zach, it's like a deer farm out there. You can shoot deer. There's deer all the time. And my uncle Jeff Dinham from Alexandria, he's got a hot stand too, and they just log right behind his stand. So that might even make it even better than it already was. And you always see deer there.
Might help or might hurt.
Yeah, might hurt too. Yeah. So, but it's always those two. And my uncle Tony, he's pretty knowledgeable with that kind of stuff. And he shoots a good amount of deer too, out of Zach's stand though. But Uncle Tony, he's a good hunter too.
I went to school
so
with
those
Tony.
are my top 3.
He's a pretty smart guy. He's a little more intelligent than the rest of us. But how come you don't kick Zach out? I mean, why does he get the good stand and you have to go there and then sit where the deer aren't? What's the deal there?
I have a good stand. It's just
doesn't sound like it. Sounds like Zach's the one shooting all the deer.
Well, for Zach's stand now, you got to walk a long ways because there's beaver dams, and so you can't drive your wheeler out. So if you want to hunt there, you really got to walk. And I'm lazy. I don't want to walk all that way. So Uncle Tony and Zach, they got to walk. And was it 2 years ago? My Uncle Tony shot a deer, and me and my brother Evan went back there with him, and we had to drag the deer about a couple miles over beaver dams, through wet swamp, you name it.
I figure if the guy's hunting way back there, get your own doggone deer. I mean, why? I mean, you're hunting in the bad spot anyway, so why should you go help him every year drag his deer out? But anyways, so you got so you're shooting. You guys have a good time, obviously, and any card games, things like that.
What is the card game?
It's a card game called Scratch. I'm sure no one has ever heard of it. It's kind of a shack only game, but there's a Thursday night on the first week, so not the second week, but the first week, where Bob Bear and Dwayne Nelson come down, and it's poker night. And so it's all sorts of Hold'em, Omaha, in between the sheets is a game that they play, all sorts of different card games. But Scratch is the main one, just not really in deer season. That's kind of a middle of the fall type deal. But
a couple more things. This is where I really get my feel if you're a hunter or wannabe. What time do you get up in the morning? What time are you out in your standby?
I am out in my stand before 7 o'clock. It's like 6:45.
So it's still dark.
Yeah, it's still dark. I always like to get out there before it's light out.
You're not scared?
No. I think it's a waste of time if you go out there when it's light out. I think you got to get out there before it's light out.
Wow. I guess I couldn't hunt with you guys. Now, when you go out, Logan's, okay, you're Mr. Big Shot. You're leaving the shack by 6:15, and you guys are having breakfast at 4 and all that baloney. You don't have baloney, do you?
No.
Okay. So you get out there and you're hunting. You brought your lunch, supper, everything. Do you go out there? Are you there the whole day, or do you come back for lunch?
No.
What do you do?
Yeah, I come back for lunch. And then I go out there till after lunch till about dark, and then come back and eat supper after that. So yeah, I do come back for lunch. I think.
Heated stand or non-heated?
Non-heated. It's all open.
Really?
Yep.
So that's you've answered a couple of questions, what defines me as a big time hunter. You go out there when it's dark. You go out there without heat. You stay out there all day. I don't do any of that. And me and you shot the same amount of deer in the last 3 years. No, I give you credit. That's how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah,
And,
I think so.
you're going to get more deer than the average guy because you do that. You just need to get Zach to get a different stand so you can hunt with him. What do you got? You got any questions about deer hunting, my boy?
No. But we got one right here.
I have a question. Logan, you said you shot one deer?
Yep.
Can you tell me about that experience and tell me what happened?
Okay, so there's a little, I'm kind of in a field, and there's a little wooded area about 15, 20 yards to the right of my deer stand where
Yeah.
I normally am sitting. And it came right out of there. I was reaching down to get my thermos of coffee, and I look up quick just before I reach for my coffee, and there it was. And I was like, oh,
Were
crap.
you in
So I
your
did-
stand?
Yeah, I was in my stand.
Okay.
So I didn't move. I was hoping it wouldn't see me, and it just kind of walked right out of that wooded area and right into the field. So I just kind of slowly went, grabbed my gun, slowly got into position and shot. It was a pretty close shot. You can't miss.
Awesome. I just felt like, good question. I felt like I was with you.
I can smell the coffee.
That's awesome. I didn't know you drank coffee.
Oh yeah, it keeps you warm.
6 cups a day, like Woody?
However much can that thermos can hold.
Okay, that's awesome. What else? Deer hunting's like a traditional family thing, and but you got a brother too, don't you?
Yeah, two.
Is he old enough, or are they?
Yeah, he's
enough?
old enough. The youngest one isn't not, but Evan is old enough. Yes,
How
he
old's
shot.
Evan?
He is 17. He shot 2 deer. He shot more deer than me.
Really?
Yeah.
Again, he's got a-
Competition?
No.
Between brothers? No.
No.
No,
It's
I got
for-
what you didn't know, none of that stuff.
What'd your dad do? I mean, when he's handing out these stand spots, I mean, your dad, your uncle, or your grandpa Dave, and what did he say? Okay, Logan, you're going to be way over there. I'm going to give all my good grandkids the good stands.
No, I'm actually lucky. Evan doesn't have his own stand. I have my own stand.
What's Evan do? Share it with somebody?
He has to bounce from stand to stand. He's kind of
Whoever's not hunting.
He's a
he's
rover.
the
Wow.
test.
He's a rover.
He's taking everyone else's stands from people.
Okay.
I got my own stand, so I'm lucky there.
How many deer does Evan have?
2.
Okay.
2.
Boy, no roving thing ain't too bad of an idea either, is it?
I know.
What else can we ask you about deer hunting? What do you got to tell us about the shack? I mean, give me a detail of your bed, the stove, how you guys,
How hot do they get in before you go to bed?
what kind of heat do you use? I love things like
It's got to be 100 before you can go to bed because it's got to stay warm all night.
Grandpa Dave loves to stoke it up to 90 degrees. He loves to get it burning there, and everyone tells him to tone it down and quit throwing so much fire in there. And Grandpa Dave's always on top of the wood situation too. Like he's always yelling at
Believe
Jeff. He's always yelling at my Uncle Jeff to quit throwing so much gas and logs onto the fire outside. So he's always on top of that. But we're actually, my grandpa gets up a lot during the middle of the night, so he's always kind of able to keep the fire, going.
Okay.
So we never have to worry about stoking it up really hot.
It's a wood stove.
Yeah, it's a wood stove. Yep. Yep.
What about your bed? What kind of bed is it? Like a
Bunk bed.
homemade one?
Triple bunk bed and you get about this
I don't know
much
if it's
room.
homemade. Yeah, but it is a bunk bed. Yeah,
Okay,
it's pretty cramped.
answer me this. Is it made of wood?
Yeah.
Okay, it's probably homemade. Do you bring a sleeping bag?
Yep,
or,
sleeping bag.
Okay.
Yep, sleeping
Do you leave that out there for the whole till next year? Or?
No, I bring it in when we're all done for the year, just so the mice don't get into it, or if someone does come in and says to take it.
My last question I got for you, you're going to stick around though, but I know you guys drink a lot of beverages with cans in it. You guys recycle or non-recycle?
Recycle.
Very good.
Recycle. We bring it out. We bring a big bag out.
Woody's got a question for you.
How much money, it's a two-part question, how much money do you think changes hands in Coochin County playing poultry during deer season?
A lot.
Let Logan handle that question.
There's a lot. 'Cause I end up not being in those high-end games, being a college student and all. I got to save that money.
See, the second part of my question is, I just think that's something Mike Bolstead would know because he works for the lottery.
I think so
Are
too.
they going to start taxing that money?
It's up to each individual. It's up to each individual to claim any income or any gambling winnings.
How about gambling losses?
You can definitely claim your losses. So that's a great question, but it's up to the individual to claim. Just like anything, Woody. Like if you're out there guiding, you got to claim all your money that you bring in for guiding, even the tips. So.
The last couple of years, it seems like I had to pay people here.
All right, Logan, what do you think? Is that kind of got a general basis of what you guys have and do? Anything else you want to add?
I think so, yeah, I think that's about it.
Is there a tradition, I'll ask this question about when you shoot the deer? I know at my dad's house, and I don't hunt, so we'll get that out there. You have to eat the heart. It's part of the deal. You have to bring the heart in, and after the deer is hung up, you gotta leave deer heart. I mean, it's a tradition. So you guys got something like that after somebody gets a deer?
No, not, I mean, when somebody gets a deer and we're all sitting around for supper, we all get might get toast and
There you go.
And another one is when we all come back, we all take a sauna right after it's freezing cold, and you go into that. Everyone piles into the sauna. And it's a tradition I can think of is we have a journal writer, and they write all the stuff down that happens.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah. So we got stuff recorded ever since they've been going there, and whatever year that was. So, yeah, and then the first night we got lasagna, garlic bread, and wine. So that's the first night.
What's your sauna? Is that wood also?
That's wood too. Yep.
Okay, so you guys like get 9, 12 deep in there?
You can fit 8, and that's everyone right next to each other. That's kind of.
So you and Grandpa Dave doing the soap together?
Kinda, yeah.
All right, we'll leave it on that. Thanks a lot,
Oh, we
Logan.
got one
One
more
more.
question. Courtney's got a question.
Question.
Do you have a girl?
Yes.
So what does she do when you're out hunting in the shack?
Oh, what is the girlfriend do? Good question. I like that.
That's really
That is a good question.
That's a loaded question.
I don't.
There's no good answer, by the way.
There's really
Who's on
no.
this?
There's not. When I'm sitting up in the stand, I get good enough service. That's the only time I got good service to text her. So that's about the only communication I have with her.
You
Besides
told-
that, she does whatever she wants.
She thinks of you.
What's that?
Or she goes to Diva Days.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Maybe, I don't
Who's
know.
your, who's your girlfriend?
Corey Ellington.
Corey Valentine. Well, hi, Corey out there. Maybe next time you can join us. And we all know Logan's going to be out there hunting, and you can do whatever you want when he's gone.
Basically, I would
You
let her
gonna stick
know.
around for the next part here?
Yeah, sure, I can do that.
You want to talk Wild or Vikings? I want to go. Let's go
You're the
Wild.
lead man.
Let's go
My
Wild.
soda pop here.
Let's talk Devin Dubnyk in the Wild with
boy.
the 3 straight shutouts and in first place in the Central Division. And I believe, and I know there's a long way to go, but I know somebody to my right said there's no way this team will make the playoffs. Blah blah blah. All right, rebuttal.
No, I'm not going to rebut. I still think that's going to be the case. I like a lot of things that are happening. They're injured right now too.
They are.
They lost Parisi, Hall, Scandella right now aren't playing, and I've liked all the young guys. This Erickson Eck kid is a nice player, and it's so nice to see that. And Coyle's moving a little better. Zucker's flying. The young guys, those 24-year-olds, are playing well. Now they have to do it for 82 games.
That was going to be my next
That's
question.
what worries me about them is I don't know if they're consistent enough to do this for 82 games. And Dubnyk is, just playing with a lot of confidence, and I don't know how they can put Kemper in right now because Kemper looks absolutely awful. But right now the Wild are playing very well. They're 6-2-1, 9 games. They're about 13% into the season already. Believe it or not, 13%. And I'm pretty happy with what I've seen so far. I love the coach.
Yeah,
Absolutely love
And what do you love about him?
He doesn't. It doesn't matter to him. He does not look at the name on the back of the jersey. If you're not playing well, you're sitting. Okay. If you're not listening to him or pouting or whatever you're doing on the bench or not into the game, he will sit you. He does not care. He will talk to the player after the game, explain to him why, but he doesn't have to because a good player knows. And so I've noticed Chris Stewart kind of takes some shifts off, and Bruce Boudreau does not allow that. A lot of people question why Plukanen was put on waivers.
No, don't tell me it's not.
I've come to conclude that Bruce Boudreau doesn't. He favors bigger guys over little guys. Okay. For his system, you got to be a big guy to play. He's got a lot of little guys. He's got Palmenville, Parisi, Granlund. So I was reading on Twitter, somebody said, well, this is a no-brainer on who they're going to send back. And I was the only one that said Pulkkinen. Everybody else was saying Delpy and some other guys. I said, there's no way. I said, Boudreau likes the big guys, and that's the way he's going to roll with this team. And Pulkin is a nice little player, but he's got to find his niches. If you notice, Jordan Schrader hasn't been brought up yet either. Another little guy, and he's playing well down in Iowa. He's gotten 3 3-point games in a row down there in Des Moines. So, you know, he just favors the big guys.
So okay, so let me take that to the next level. You're a week or one or two shows ago, we talked about the Wild, and you talked about the fact that the cupboard is bare. If things don't come together with this team, there's nobody at Iowa. The draft picks aren't there, whatever else. So is this a time? And I know it's early in the season, and we just mentioned injuries. Is this something where you take a kid like Pulkin and a Schrader and you send him off to a team who's in need, and you can get a few draft picks, maybe get some young players to try to rebuild the farm, or is it too early in the season that you'd be thinking that kind of thing?
Well, first of all, both of them were available for free.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
They were both had to go through waivers. Both Pulkin and Schrader, a whole bunch. Pulkin and nobody claimed it. So as far as trying to trade somebody nobody wants, that's pretty tough. The cupboard's not as bare as I thought. They got Tuck and Gilmore, the 2 Boston College kids playing down in Iowa. They're developing down there. The Lucia kid. So they're developing. Tuck's going to be a top 6 forward. Most of the rest of them are going to be bottom 6. But the top 6 is what we need. Eric's actually going to eventually fill one of those top 6 holes, and that's what they're looking for. Is when you're trying to develop a team, you're trying to develop your bottom 6 and your top 6. And you got tweeters like Nino Niederreiter, Pominville, who could probably play both bottom 6 and top 6. So the cupboard is a little better than I thought. And the reason I think that, and the reason I got a little optimism is I think we got a great coach. He's not going to put up with any of the baloney, and if you don't produce or you don't work hard, you're not going to play.
You're wearing your Penguin sweatshirt. What have you seen out of the Wild, though?
You know, I like that Stahl signing.
Yeah.
I mean, did you think he was going to be this good? I didn't think so. I thought.
Well, he's another 30-something, you know, and
Yeah,
I'm afraid of that with Vanek and Pominville, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, I thought he was going to be another washed-up, old, desperate signing. Kind of like a Vanek that didn't work out. I was really hoping they were going to get Backus or also Franz Nielsen too. But I haven't watched too many Wild games, so I can't really say too much. But I've been really impressed with how Stahl did. I thought he was just going to be another.
They got a good price on him too.
Yeah, they did.
Backus and Opolso, they were going over $6 million a year.
Yeah.
They got Stahl for like 3.2, and I think that was a steal of the free agency so far. Sometimes I notice he gets a little tired legs, but I kind of like his game, and he's big, strong, and kind of put one up on the roof last night to make her 3 loves. He's playing well.
Yeah, he has been playing well.
Dubnik getting the shutouts because of how well he's playing, or is it the defense in front of him?
Well, a good goalie. You know what he's doing? He's making the saves. And he's making a couple of really nice saves. But he's got 6. You know who's really gotten well better is that forward. Okay, watch his game. Okay, big, tall, right-hand shot, number 5, I believe. Folan's really improved, and you can always look at a goalie, and if you have good defense in front of you, usually you got to stop the first one, and the defenseman will take care of the second one. But we need Marco Scandella back in there. We got a couple others down the minors at Olofsson, and I seen Susie playing for UMD the other night. He looks good, so there's another future defenseman, and kind of like what's going on. Thanks for coming.
Well, as long as you brought up UND, the sweep of North Dakota.
Are we done with the Wild?
Well, I don't know. We might not be done with the Wild. We might come back.
But I segued into
But
that.
you brought that up. So a sweep, the number 1 versus number 2 teams in Duluth. Did you apparently watched some of it? Mm-hmm. What did you see? The thing that impressed me, even though North Dakota lost twice, their goaltender was. I know they lost twice, but he was unreal. He made some just incredible saves.
Here's the deal, and I told you this at the beginning, is UND lost their 3 big stud defensemen. Okay, they're replacing with freshmen. When I watched that game where UMD won the battles were against those young defensemen. The young Poolman kid, Wolanin, they're good, okay, but they're all freshmen and sophomore, and they only got the one number 3, Tucker Poolman, who's basically the only veteran that's back, and steady all that Ostrow's kid too. But most of their players are young. Their forward lines are young. You got Gersich with Besser on that one line, and that's a good line. But after that, they're all young and they're getting better. But right now, UMD's a more seasoned team than North Dakota. If that game would have been played in North Dakota, they probably would have swept them there as well. Now, is UMD going to win the NCHC? They could, but they still got to beat North Dakota a second time around. And as always, North Dakota will keep getting better. We'll see if UMD does.
Yeah, I know that series comes up in January. It ought to be interesting to see where those two teams are. Things always seem to be different in January than things are in October. You got to get through the bumps and the bruises and the playing and all that other stuff, and just like in the pros, and it seems like every sport that we've been watching recently, the number of injuries that affecting the teams is absolutely incredible. Whether it be football or hockey or whatever it is, it just seems to be a big thing right now.
Who's your college team, hockey team?
The Gophers.
Gophers. Jeez.
If it wasn't for deer season, if it wasn't for deer season, I probably would have gotten tickets for that Sioux game next Saturday.
What was that next?
Yeah, that's next week.
For which game?
The Hawks.
The Fighting Hawk?
Well, excuse me.
Give me a little.
It happened. Yeah.
Excuse me, the
I still
Fighting
do.
Hawks.
The Fighting Hawks.
My son Burke will never say that.
No, I won't either.
Okay, but he won't say the other one in public. That's a household name.
Yeah, it is. It is for everyone.
Yeah.
It is. But I watched them play Clarkson, and that's just embarrassing.
It beat Clarkson and St. Lawrence.
Yeah.
They were both.
No, they tied St. Lawrence.
Okay.
When St. Lawrence is ranked, but Clarkson, are you kidding me?
Now, did you know that Clarkson and St. Lawrence were about 6 miles apart?
No, I didn't know that.
See, I played out east, and I'm not trying to go back in my past again, but that was always a doubleheader. We'd play them every 2 years there, and they'd both come and play us the other 2 years. But St. Lawrence and Clarkson are in upstate New York, and they're about 6 miles apart from each other, so it was really easy to play a doubleheader.
There's your geography lesson for the show. You want to talk any more hockey? Anything out there that's
Well, a couple surprises in the Central Division. We're talking about the Wild, how they're leading that division. Nashville's off to a horrid start, 2-5-1. You also got Dallas struggling, 3-4-1, and Winnipeg like 3-4-1. A lot of the big boys are struggling, and the Wild and the Blues. Blackhawks are another team. They're like 500 right now, and they're struggling on the penalty kill. And Jonathan Toews has yet to score a goal, and I don't know. That team might be
getting old,
tapped out. Well, their salary cap is. I mean, they've just been killed. Look at all the players they've lost, and that's going to happen when you sign Toews and Kane to $10 million deals. So that's a lot of the salary right there eaten up by two guys. So it really makes it tough. You got to get a lot of inexpensive guys, but if they're good, they're going to want their money, like Andrew Shaw, who they had to let go, which I thought was a big character player for that team. They lost the kid to Columbus a few years ago, Sod, and another character player. So they're losing all these role players that scored 20 to 30 goals a game and played in the dirty areas. So I think the Blackhawks are going to struggle this year, but real surprised about Nashville. I told you Dallas was going to struggle. Let's see if that continues.
Anything else in the NHL?
No, Montreal Canadiens and Edmonton Oilers right now the two best teams in hockey, and who would have thumped that? Remember, no Canadian team made the NHL playoffs last year. They're doing everything they can to stop that. So Edmonton looks really good. Have the best player in the NHL by the name of Connor McDavid, and Montreal riding Shea Weber's trade for PK Subban, and he's been the best defenseman in the league right now. I'm saying that he's a Norris candidate. So that's it for NHL. Where are we going next?
Let's move to the World Series ever so briefly. It's 3-1 Cleveland when we tape this show on Sunday night. Does Cleveland finish them off tonight, or do they got to go back to Cleveland?
I think they'll go 1-1. I think.
Who's pitching today? Lester.
Lester.
Did Lester pitch last night or tonight?
No, he's pitching tonight, and then Bauer for the Indians.
Yep, that sounds right.
So I think the Cubbies can win one more.
I didn't realize this. I found this on a tweet or read this on a tweet. The Cubs all time at Wrigley Field in the World Series are 2-13 now.
Ooh.
I just think right now with this team, they are feeling so much pressure at home with the ticket prices and blah blah blah, everything else. I do agree with you. Chicago wins tonight, gets it back to Cleveland, might even force Game 7. But I think Cleveland does finish them off.
Kluber will pitch Game 7 if there
Kluber
is
will
one,
come
yeah.
back and pitch Game 7 if need be, and that seems to be he's got something. The Cubs haven't quite figured him out yet. And maybe the third time around might be the key if it gets that far. But I think Cleveland could take it in 6. Right now,
like you said, it's too much pressure.
It is. It's a terrible.
You're trying to beat a curse that's impossible.
Yeah.
The fans just feel like it's going to happen, and it's. I haven't watched any. I'll be honest.
I've watched very little
I
myself.
watched the last 2 games.
Yeah.
Not much.
Timberwolves off to an 0-2 start, 4-point loss and a 2-point loss. Last night they were ahead of Sacramento by 18 points in the second quarter. Ended up losing by 2 points. You want to add anything to that?
I like the choke because in the first game they got off to a hot start too, right?
Yeah.
I thought I saw something up there, so I guess they like the choke. I don't know what the problem. I haven't watched it.
Yeah, it is. They seem to right now not. They haven't learned how to win yet, and that's something that I think is going to come as the season rolls along.
How can you learn how to win if you don't win?
I get you. This is something where
this is I've heard a lot last night. I watched the post game, and physically they're not strong enough. They can't.
a lot of young bucks.
They cannot physically handle anybody down low. I mean, it showed last night. Second chance points, rebounding. Carl Anthony Towns, he's still a string bean. Sorry.
Yes, absolutely. He's 20 years old. It's going to happen. It's going to be something.
So quit talking playoffs. I mean, I'm tired of it. I mean, that's all I've been hearing.
Hey, they're only 0-2. They got 80 to go.
The doggone Timberwolves, those old playoff. No, they're not. No,
I don't think
they got a nice cutesy team.
Timberwolves don't make the playoffs this year. They get a lot closer. They knock on the door, but don't make it this year. Let's move on to the NFL. Let's talk about the Vikes. Last Sunday's game against the Eagles. Somebody asked me this morning, do teams continue to blitz the Vikings like Philadelphia did? And I'll give you guys a chance to answer the question.
Well, I didn't think it would be rocket science anyway. I mean, everyone knew they had a terrible offensive line, so I thought maybe it's just one bad game. I don't know what was wrong with the offensive line, why that became a problem just last week when I'm pretty sure it's been a problem all year, so I don't really know. I mean, what can you do? Everyone's hurt?
Well, the four-letter word NFL players don't like to hear is soft. Okay? And that's what the coach called them out and called that offensive line, saying they were soft. And even the big guy, the big guard that we picked up from San Francisco, Boone, he held back, he bit his tongue. You could tell he wanted to say something. But he said we got to play better. And that Jake Long, I mean, that's obviously there's an issue there.
Well, and they had to get Long. I said they had to get Long into that game last Sunday. They had to see what he could do in live. You can line up in practice and blah blah. You need to have the lights on, the people in the stands screaming it. We found out that he probably can't do it. He's not physically able to do the things that he used to do that made him a number 2 overall pick, if I remember correctly. It just isn't there. And the Vikings, and I thought John Fox said something interesting in the article I read in the newspaper the other day. He talked about we're not Philadelphia as far as going to Monday night's game against.
He doesn't have the personnel.
We don't have the same personnel as Philadelphia. So you want to talk about us being able to go out and blitz like Philadelphia did? That's not our personnel. So we can't really do that. So I think the Vikings get a reprieve maybe on the types of blitzes or the number of blitzes, and maybe are able to pick things up better, at least against the Bears. But I think you're right. It's something that the teams are going to do to the Vikings, and it's a no-brainer. I mean, with an offensive line that's hurt like that, now McKinnon's out, the guy who probably is your third down back and those kinds of things, he's out for Monday night's game. So where do the Vikings go? The injury bug just seems to be horrendous, and Dale gets an interception and gets hurt on the play, and so some of these young guys have had to come in and play. I don't think you blow up the season because of one game. We know that maybe they were doing it with a little smoke and mirrors, getting things done. But I'll say it this way: I think Bradford went back to Philadelphia, did not play well, did not read blitzes well. Should have been hot receivers that he should have been hitting. I think he was trying to do maybe too much rather than reading the play. I think sometimes he hung onto the ball too long, the fumbles, and when the Vikings didn't score on 1st and goal from the 2-yard line, Army didn't score at all. Not just didn't get a touchdown, didn't get even 3 points. That kind of told you where the team was at. It was kind of a microcosm of the whole game that it just. I was afraid at that point where the Vikings were, at least mentally, and I know I said a couple weeks ago, this is a horrible time for the Vikings to have a week off, and I really think they had a chance to have all the hot air blowing up their backsides and go, oh, they're the greatest things, and then they came out and laid an egg, and so I hope this is a wake-up call early in the season, showed some of their flaws, know what they've got to work on, and go back on a run here again and start playing football like they did the first few weeks.
Yeah, I think it takes more pressure off them too. You know, the last of the undefeated. Oh, the Vikes are last of the undefeated. So I think that takes pressure off them too.
Well,
I like that.
yeah, exactly. And I agree with you, Logan. And what bothered me the most is during the bye week, the Vikings were well aware that their offensive line is not good.
Yeah.
I don't think we addressed it.
Do you think
I think they thought they addressed it with Jake Long, but gosh, they had to see in practice that he's not the Jake Long that was drafted.
So is it somewhere you're going to have to go out and trade for somebody again?
Yeah, in Miami was dropping. There was all kinds of guys getting dropped. Miami dropped a couple of offensive linemen. There's rumors Joe Thomas or Joe Staley, Cleveland Brown and San Francisco 49er left tackles were of interest to Minnesota. The only problem is where are you going to fit them in the cap? They would have to have Cleveland take some of that salary. It's going to cost them a 2nd-round pick. They already gave up their 1st for Bradford, so yeah, it's tough giving up that many. That can put your team in a downspin. That's why Cleveland's where they're at right now, and we don't want Cleveland to become the Buffalo Sabres for the while. We got to hold on to these guys, and these guys got to get better. They're professionals, right?
Absolutely. It's
The
something.
Vikings win this week, 31-10
Wow.
in Chicago, in Chi-Town.
Yeah,
It's close early, but then
Yeah, in Chicago, not a good team. Who do the Vikes bring in to fill in for McKinnon?
My boy,
Your boy.
Asiata,
Yeah, and who else? Because Ozzy, we know
Ronnie Hillman.
Ronnie Hillman.
But here's the deal, Logan. We didn't have a show a couple weeks ago, and we didn't have a show last week. But if I remember right, I played a certain team in fantasy football last weekend, and I think the team name is Wilf, and my team name is Marino. And could you tell Ringer the results of that game?
We stink.
We stink.
Yeah, we stunk that week. We got a
Yeah,
like
Mark
this week.
Cooper and Derek Carr didn't show up now today.
Today they did.
Yeah,
That's fantasy football right
Yeah.
there. It drives you nuts.
Yeah, like, see, last week we scored, what, like 50 points? This week we only scored 100? And that's how our team is. We think we have a good team, but...
That's all every team.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody's losing guys left
Yeah.
and right. I mean,
We've been holding on to Doug Martin since week 2.
Yeah, and you sit there and Jacquez Rogers, your dad picks him
Yeah.
up and he's running all over the place. And
Then
fantasy
Coleman gets
football's
hurt.
been tough. We're talking about in our league changing some rules because people keep losing players. And when people show up on transaction night and put a bid in on Dwayne Washington of the Detroit Lions, it kind of tells you how watered down everything is. Then they play him today and he doesn't even dress. Ooh, that's Team Bidwell. That's Jim Barkowski and Rick Anderson. They played a guy that didn't even dress.
So, and when I used to be in fantasy, we got to the point where you talk about desperation. They started talking about going with a team quarterback rather than the quarterback. So you would take the Green Bay Packers quarterback. So if Rodgers gets hurt, you get the guy who fills in. You combine their stats together and do that. And I said, well, if you're going to do that for quarterback, then you got to do it for running back, and you got to do it for wide receiver. And how are you going to do that? And they're like, well, we're just talking quarterback. And I'm like, well, if you're going to do it for one position, you got to do it for all positions. And I don't see how you can do that. That was my opinion. And I don't know.
I think
Well,
there's
we can't do that because we need money for the pizza money.
Yeah, we need the pizza money,
Yeah,
so we got to have transactions. But
Because you make $2 on every transaction that people make. So if you did that, it's...
right now, there isn't a lot of teams that have the main player in the handcuff, and that causes problems.
Sure.
And just one example, there's one team that does, Kraft, they have Kristen Michael and Thomas Rawls, but when Rawls comes back, it looks like they're going to split. So that causes problems too. So I had at one time I had both Matt Forte and Boyle Powell. Okay, I made 2 big trades last week, Ringer, and
Who was the second guy you said?
Bilal Powell, he scored today.
Bilal Powell?
35-yard run today for a touchdown.
For who?
The Jets, Jets.
Which college did he play for?
Chicago, Illinois. I don't even know where Matt Forte
Did he change his name from when he was in college?
Bilal. Bilal. It's just like your first name's Tim with 2 M's. Who does that?
I agree. Talk to my mother. God bless her.
Tim's normal name, though. Bilal or Bilal or whatever.
Bilal. There's some Danny's out there. But fantasy football, it's been crazy out there. And, my other league.
I was going to say, what are your records now? This is week
5-2, 5-2, and 2-5.
Okay.
Well, we're about to be 5-3 because we just won.
Well, I thought you said your team was bad. You're above the 500 mark.
Well, yeah, we are. We were bad against.
Well, he lost a tough game to a quality opponent last week. But
We should.
My other league, you know who I have? Going into this week, I had C.J. Anderson,
Okay.
Todd Gurley,
He stinks.
LaShawn McCoy. All 3 of them were off. Okay, one with a bye, 2 injuries. Okay, and Arian Foster was my 4th running back, and he retired. So those are my 4 running backs. I went out and guess who I picked up? You wouldn't believe this, and it's a tough league to pick up.
C.J. Ham, you picked up
18 guys on a team. These guys just stuff guys all over. I ended up getting Robert Kelly for the Washington Redskins.
Okay.
And I got that Teron Ward, who probably had 70 yards today. And I thought I did a decent job of doing what I could, but I think I lost in that league. And I've still got a good one going with Noel this week.
Okay, so
Did you see how I was doing?
No.
So does this? This is where it got for me.
I don't say he just looks at his own team.
This is where I got to. I'm in the same boat with you guys. You're looking to pick up guys, and you're like, this is why I quit doing fantasy football, because by mid-season it was just like, oh, there's nobody left. Who do you? It's such a crapshoot to find out where you should even go. It's just like,
Like we bet $70 on a player that's a backup to someone's backup. We didn't have a running back.
But you need to pick someone up. You have to have a live body because you get fined if you had it in the illegal roster.
And he had 1 rushing yard today.
Hey.
One.
Well, better than not picking anybody up. What if you win by .1?
True.
You know, but the
Mark
rigors and love and hate of fantasy football, it'll drive you nuts.
Yep.
It's fun, but it's not healthy. It's not healthy.
it's not healthy. Right?
Where we're going next? Well, here's the thing, Ringer. We had our last show in 2 weeks. I thought we'd come back in here tonight and talk about all our high school teams did, and they're all done.
They're all done except
for swimming.
Except for girls swimming and diving, everybody's done. It was a tough week for the area sports teams. Everybody lost in their first shot. Cross country ended up not getting anybody to state. It was a frustrating week, I think, for the fans. It was a frustrating week for the athletes. It was one of those weeks, and I even had a chance to go do the Evelyn Gilbert football game on the radio yesterday for their station, and they lost. So it was a tough week for Tim too as well. So I don't know. It was frustrating, and girls hockey starts on Monday, Halloween. They got their first practice. If they've got ice at the arena,
Yeah, I heard about that.
I don't know if they've got ice in the arena yet. They've been having compressor problems. So practice is supposed to. Kerry Park does have ice. I don't know how they're going to fit all that in if that's the case. So we're only 2 weeks and a couple of days away from the first girls hockey game at home against Roseau. Hopefully at Bronco Arena. Hopefully, we'll see what happens there. It is a very serious situation where a town is very used to having two ice rinks right now. I don't know where we're at, but it's. I didn't hear about this. I knew they were changing parts on it. I didn't realize that it was so dire that we did not have ice in yet at Bronco Arena. I did not realize that till a couple of days ago. So I had to find that from somebody who lives out of town. So that kind of tells you, we're 50 feet away from the building, and I'm not in the loop on it. But it was still fall season, and like I said, with the girls swimming and diving left over, their section is on the 10th and the 12th, and then hockey starts on the 3rd. Let's see, what would be the 15th of November, the first game with the girls, and the boys hockey starts over Thanksgiving. If you want to start putting X's on your calendar, they actually have a game Friday night of Thanksgiving and Saturday night at home. The They got Virginia on Friday night, IRC game to get things started, and then they've got St. Paul Harding. Is it
Highland
Harding?
Park.
Highland Park, thank you. Yes.
Harding's teams, they're done.
Highland Park, so
That's
that's
the one
a
they had
Friday,
the orange-
Saturday, and
One of the orange coach of theirs.
Did we play them last year?
Yeah, they beat them pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty good. That's it.
So going back, just a shout out, we had our big tent out in North Dakota. We had a good time, my family, me and my brother Gerald, brother-in-law's Darcy Terry, my nephews and uncles, and we had a great time. And unfortunately, Saturday was good. The Bison won. We were in the Big Tent for that.
But the Bison lost the week before. I want to.
Yeah. Gophers won with tight one. Rutgers. We weren't real happy with their performance. And then Sunday was a nightmare. The Vikings lost. I never heard. My family's pretty cool. Okay, pretty calm demeanor. I thought. I never heard the F-bomb so much in my life in that Vikings-Philadelphia game, and they weren't saying I want more food either. So it was a tough game, and then after that we watched the Wild, and but in between we had a trailer we put 158 yards out. I hit it 9 times over the weekend. I led the whole family with a shot with my wedge. Well, I was hitting 7 iron. Everybody else was hitting 8 irons and that. But anyways, a great time out in North Dakota with my family. I know they all watch the show, and thank you all. I had a great time. Always love my family. So
Thanks for Logan for coming on.
Logan, you're the man. If you had a glass, I'd say cheers.
Good job.
You're awesome. I don't know what we'll bring you on for the NFL draft, but maybe, who knows? We'll bring you on again. You're a great guy.
Sounds
Thanks,
good.
appreciate it.
We're done?
I think we're done. Thanks,
Don't take us
everybody.
too serious.
No questions?
Oh,
Questions. We forgot. We got.
Jeez.
Yeah, what's up?
I have a question.
You have a question.
I do.
What?
How can the football team improve the fall side football team?
I noticed you're looking at Ringer.
You know the boys in the post game interview after the Two Harbors game, I thought said some good things. They talked about the fact that the boys need to go out and get other kids to come out and play. Kids who would either have played or have not played before. They said it should be our responsibility to go out and get more kids to come out. They talked about that they have to commit to the weight room. I think that is the number one issue, that the kids have to get into the weight room. 20 years ago, we dominated teams because our kids were in the weight room and other schools were not. Now the roles have reversed. Our kids are there, but they need to get more serious about being there. The ones that are there and the ones that haven't been there need to get there. Those are the 2 big things. They need to get kids out, and they got to get kids that are going to commit themselves to being in the weight room and being 3-sport athletes. We've talked about this.
We need kids that play basketball, wrestle, and play hockey get out on the football field. That's as simple as that. I don't know why you're saving yourself or why you're not playing, or maybe your parents don't want you. And there's some concern there, and I don't blame you either. But if you played football, you're not gonna. It's a game you should be playing, and don't try to save yourself for other sports.
So this is back to the deer hunting.
Yeah.
So what's favorite way to have venison? Tartare or
Stroganoff.
I don't mind the steaks. We also, if we shoot multiple deer, like say me and my brother shoot one, we'll give one away to the Salvation Food Shelf.
Awesome.
I think that's a good thing to do. But I like the steaks. The jerky's good too, venison jerky.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So
On the barbecue, get the grill good and hot, get her cooked on one side, flip her over, so I still got a little red on the inside. Can't beat it on the barbecue.
Every way is good when you make it venison.
Only way to go.
There's no wrong way.
Backstraps are
Backstraps are
awesome. I would personally, I obviously don't have a very good recipe. Take it all and take it to someone who does really good sausage and just make a bunch of sausage.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that. I think it tastes great. Good question, though. What do you got tonight?
I was just wondering if you're dressing up for Halloween, or if so, or what else was like your favorite costume?
Well, I'm going to dress up like Bowie and be a big jerk again this year.
He's got to work tomorrow. You got to work on Halloween.
Yeah, we'll be at another establishment and doing a little football and stuff giveaway, giving away tickets and having some fun with the customers who show up at the Viking Bar, and we'll have a good time, and we'll see how that goes. But you guys should put lottery in here. We can't talk business. Delete that. Delete that. What else?
As far as the costume, I don't know who bought this mask of this. Well, I don't even know how to explain. It's kind of part devil, part something. I've had a great time scaring the bejeebers out of my kids with it. I don't think I'll do that to Eli quite yet. We don't want to scar him too badly. He's only 2. We're going to be 2. So, but that mask, that's a lot of fun. Which about you guys?
Well, last night we had the Halloween party, so I dressed up as the Voyager again, since I had that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yep, and then Matt was the pirate.
Okay, awesome. Like Johnny Depp type pirate?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Hey,
That's a good crowd.
That's actually a pretty good compliment.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Yeah, we had a band last night too, so it was a good show. And yep.
How many people?
300.
Awesome. And you guys been filling them in here, I know that, and people keep coming. And we're again Looney's Brew, and this place is hopping. Great guys.
Our first test batch next weekend.
Yeah, really?
Yep.
Awesome. I'm looking forward
Get
to
on
it.
out here. These guys are cool. The owners are awesome, man, and their parents are great too. And you can see how they turned out so good. So,
All right. Anything else?
I'm done.
We're good. Thanks, everybody.